Hello, and welcome back to Heaven Will Be Mine. I'm going to continue today with day 2, and we're going to get to meet Saturn. Before we do, in the process of editing the last episode, we also have comms, actually. Apparently we have more to talk about. But in the process of editing the last episode, I was able to go back and reread the kind of opening letters that, apart from, the data log doesn't actually go back that far. Oh. That's weird. The data log now doesn't show the past 2 days. I don't quite get how this works. Maybe it's only while you're playing or something. But I now have a better basic understanding of what the factions are. It's about gotten it backwards that Memorial Foundation are people who do just want to go back to Earth. They're people who are like, space is not for us. We should be at home. Let's go back. Cradle's Graces are specifically like, we want to be independent and in space. We want to divest ourselves from Earth. And then Celestial's mechanics. Are they Celestial or Celestials? Yeah. Celestial mechanics want to control access to space. I think the implication being they're not about isolationism in either direction. They're about maintaining a link, but that they want to be in charge of it. I'm less clear on what that means. Maybe it's like Earth shouldn't control space from Earth, and also space shouldn't be isolated and alone. But that remains a little unclear. I hope the conversation we're going to have with Saturn will help clear that up some. I also think that the reason I was confused is because we just got 3 letters in a row explaining each of the 3 factions' deals. I did not remember their names at that point, so I think I just saw the sign-offs and they just went straight through my brain, came out the other side. Alright, so let's start our second mission, Joyride Killjoy, where we're going to meet Saturn. Confirm. Objective in sight. Opening channel to base. Captain on board. Captain, this sucks. Well, you heard them, Europa. Tell those idiots to be careful what they wish for, because the mission parameters have changed. As you know, Celestial Mechanics has been operating a clandestine ship self-development lab with an experimental prototype, in violation of the terms of the Memorial Foundation Space Program Decommission Treaty. And we are in a top-secret surprise attack to take out the last operational shipyard, and make sure we never have to find out what Celestial Mechanics has been planning to do with it. It couldn't be more obvious what happened, but go ahead and brief me anyway. No points for guessing. The prototype already launched, rendering most of the base inoperable. We lost contact almost instantly. Find it before it leaves Kronos' gravitational field. Oh great. What a pain. Weren't you just bored? There's no way to find it. It's as good as gone. There is a chance that the ship self is still nearby, so get to work. Ugh. Yeah, this is... Bravo, evade now. Now. I've got nothing, Cap. Bubblegum pink electricity sparks off the ice and dust of the inner ring like a lightning bolt and through his ship self. He doesn't get even the slightest chance. Captain Mayday. Don't listen and you don't have any right to complain. Right, Europa? What a callous attitude you have. Who did you learn that from? The best. Preparing to engage. I wish Europa would stop sending me boys who can't control themselves. Having fun dismantling my escorts? With the string of Pearl's fingers, Saturn carefully peels the mechanical musculature out of... Sorry, I accidentally clicked, so I have to check the data log to go back. With the string of Pearl's fingers, Saturn carefully peels the mechanical musculature out of the poor ship's arm she's holding, a souvenir of the last of Luna Terra's escorts that she sent crying too easily back to their base. It's still sparkling and oozing, and Saturn wishes her ship had a mouth so she could suck it out like crab meat. Maybe it does have a mouth. The machine has many mysteries the manual doesn't explain, and Saturn is still learning them. Though I suppose Europa's learned her lesson about sending me girls who can't control themselves. Okay, now I gotta do a voice for Saturn. Again, hoping I pick one that'll make sense longer term. Oh, really? Hey, that's really interesting. Mind telling me more? Oh, she's a hacker too. How amusing. There's nothing too interesting on this calm frequency. Ah, you flatter me. But hey, what did that mean exactly? The part about the girls who can't control themselves? I really want to hear more. It means back up that talk first. Or can you land a hit off the comms? Luna Terra's gravitational field focuses to a single point. Luna Terra isn't budging. She's been through much worse, and so has her ship, followed always by a thin trail from a bleeding wound she could never completely repair. The Mare Chrysium is over 2 decades old, but Saturn can't even land a hit. It's regal and stiff, dressed in cold metallics, weathered and refurbished, the archetypal prototype for all other ship selves, still going after all these years. Still furiously untouchable, the string of pearls hasn't gone down no matter how much she's been rammed with that spear. But she hasn't even nicked Luna Terra's ship once. Not bad at all for a joyride, but can't you get one hit in? Good thing you don't win by looking cool. No mercy for newbies? No. Luna Terra puts a stake of solid light through the string of Pearl's leg, pins it to its own gauze wrapper. It doesn't hurt at all. The ship's metals begin molding and reforming around the wound immediately. A ridiculous, unfair advantage. Saturn has no right to complain, but she still wants to. But she is trying to be cool. Everyone wants to, when in the quiet gleam of that always bleeding ship. That's a pretty amazing ship. Think it will last? Either you're fighting just for fun, because you're that reckless, or you're caught in your own containment wrapper and can't escape orbit yet. And you'd beat me for sure if I played around. I'm not done yet. That's not true. It's actually very difficult to move with a solid light bullet in your leg, but she's not going to let that stop her. Saturn is suddenly closer than she logically could be, claws bubbling, but Luna Terra effortlessly slips away and kicks Saturn's ship directly in the chest. Yeah, you're done. The containment wrapper is still stuck to you, so your movement's off. Doesn't seem to have stopped you that much. Right? It was so rude of them to try to stop me. It seems cruel to take it away when you're having so much fun with it. Same as you, right? Do I know you? Everyone knows Memorial Foundation's perfect ace. But do I know you? So I do, don't I? Let me out of this thing and I'll tell you. Why should I? Because you can't help yourself. Besides, don't you want a real fight? Can you promise it'll go different? I could promise it'll be more fun. You are asking for me to totally abandon my duty to bring you back and do that instead? What, you won't? The legendary pilot who defected from Memorial Foundation, then double-crossed the rebels she abandoned them for, can't be opposed to a little fooling around with the enemy. I guess you do know me. Want to trust each other? Or is it more fun if we don't? So, it's more fun if they do and Saturn gets embarrassed, which is the loyal option. It's more fun if they don't and Luna Terra gets owned, which is a betrayal that favors celestial mechanics. I don't know what their deal is too much, but I do know that I'm less, not especially loyal to the people that just want to return to the status quo, as far as I can tell. So I'm gonna go with this one. Opening futures, closing pasts. That's what it said before and I didn't get to see. I'm impressed. Most people would be nervous to have a knife this near their throat. It's not like you can hurt it, so there's nothing to be nervous about, is there? That's true. But you're so new to this, I thought your brain would be overriding the information from the ship. Maybe I'm not new to this. Oh? You were a candidate, so I think that might be true. But you're also trembling, so I think it's not completely true. I'm still very dangerous, you know, Luna Terra. I believe that for sure. You wouldn't be trembling if you were in my shoes? Less so. People tremble for a lot of reasons, though. I don't have anything to fear, so please don't project that on me. Ah, well, if you're fearless, what is it then? It could be anticipation, couldn't it? This is very foolish of me. It really is. I have you right where I want you, remember? That might mean that I have you too. Your claws are twitching. I thought we promised not to trust each other. I still don't. Then you must really like living dangerously if you're still helping me. I'm having fun. I can tell. If you want to know so bad, that's why I didn't like you. Because you were a test pilot and never got to fly before the end of the Cold War, while idiots like me got to? Ah, I thought so. That's enough. Hold still. Everyone let you have as much fun as you wanted. You are a real huge jerk. I was always jealous of that. Everyone who let me get away with it regrets it now. There, done. Thanks. For all your hard work, I should leave you something to remember me by. Oh? Ready to fight for real? I sorta already did. And Saturn has left a clear claw scratch of hot pink poison seeping on Mayor Chrysium's thigh. How's that? I finally did get a hit in on you. Ha, good job. They break away, rocketing. Just a little love bite. Pay me back for it next time. Trust me, I will. Ever since the day Mars began, Mars has been doomed. No, there never will be a planet, Mars. That's a name reserved for places where human life, gravity, and culture reign. This is just bitter Aries. But like the stringy, inedible weeds that grow when nothing else does, Cradle's Graces is dug in, and we can't get them out. The colonies are wrecked, the terraforming engines are broken, the gravity furnaces are out of control. There's no resources left on this planet, no strategic value. This planet doesn't even exist. It is an inert rock. There's no point in fighting. There's no need to fight. Ship selves can't keep you alive alone forever. And even if that was the case, we could leave tomorrow and claim victory. Most of the Memorial Foundation NSES fleet already did. That's why there's barely any of us left, and why we can't get them out. What? Why don't I go home too? And leave all those idiots to just fucking die on a rock? What do you think we're doing this for? External communication sent on August 31st, 1978 by Memorial Foundation troops. Hey, it's not like we're idiots. We know we're doomed. This planet still doesn't fulfill the requirements for human life. And life is just the start anyway. Don't you know that gravity is something more important? You do understand celestial mechanics, right? Matter is made of tiny particles, but enough of it exerts gravity that stitches the universe together. Culture is made of tiny humans, and enough of it together can decide what's real and what isn't. It is really quite fucked up that this is how decisions about humans get made. Enough humans can decide anything, and then it'll be true, even about what's human and what's not. They don't even have to wait for the deadline. They've already decided that any human without their feet planted on Earth is in fact not a human. That's a pretty usual thing for humans to do. No differences of any kind need to exist. We'll just be aliens, and they'll send the real military after us, and we'll die. But if we just hold the line here, for our princess to get through and make it to the moon, she'll open up the gravity well, and then we get to decide. Internal communication sent on January 25th, 1981 by Cradle's Grace's Irregulars. It's morning on Ares, but what's time in space? If we can get our capital ship launched and refueled, and the prototype retrofitted with the final equipment, we'll have everything in place. Keep out of the canyons of Mars, where Cradle's Graces and Memorial Foundation are bickering. Hold the city ruins against invading troops, and make sure no one tries to set the oxygen ocean on fire while we refuel. It's a pretty thankless job. But me, I can't wait to see what happens. This is the most exciting space has ever been. Before we got here, this was a dead rock, but the best we could have ever hoped for was Earth in a different place. Who needs that? Far in the distance, the moon's gravity well shines. If no one controls it before the deadline is up, Earth will take drastic steps to ensure that humanity is not divided. What they're afraid of happening, we will ensure that it happens. We'll finally have something alien in space. Private communication sent on January 26, 1981 by a celestial mechanics researcher. This complicates my understanding of the celestial mechanics. So it's not... I kind of characterized it before as not being isolationist, but it's more that they want Earth and space to be distinct and to both exist. This one is still the most kind of confusing and interesting to me. The previous two pretty much just underscored the idea that one wants to stay on Earth and everyone should just be Earthlings, and then the other wants to have an independent space people who are not just declared aliens, which is very reasonable. Day 3. Receiving report. Alert. Report not accepted. 2. Errors detected. Error 1. A failure to explain why Celestial Mechanics' ship self-string of pearls was not successfully apprehended. Error 2. A failure to explain why Cradle's Grace's ship self Krun Makula was not successfully incapacitated. Please correct errors before proceeding. Resubmit. Warning. No corrections submitted. Force resubmit. Generating new assignments. Penalty assignment. Sniper duty. Planet Ares. currently held by Cradle's Graces. Purpose: preventing celestial mechanics refueling and egress. Penalty assignment: sniper duty. Cradle's Graces, held by planet Ares. Purpose: top secret. Take out Cradle's Graces prototype Krun Makula on research assignment in Cradle's Graces territory. Penalty assignments cannot be refused. Indicate you have understood new orders. Why? Ready for gravitational catapult. Prepare launch to inner solar system. Okay. Oh. So that betrayal got me 25%, so I don't think there's going to be another 6 days of this stuff. I have a feeling it'll be a little bit more quick than that. So we have a couple new missions that are presumably just doing the two penalty assignments we got for... It's kind of funny to me that we get those penalties not because we betrayed, because we got it for both. So it's obviously just how the narrative goes, that even when we're loyal, we're not like enacting the mission as we've been told to do. Unless I misunderstood and we got 2 missions from one betrayal, but I assume that's not the case. I'll look at these missions after, because we've got some mail and some comms to go through. Subject: Halamede 1. Origin: leaked data packet. Author: 2nd generation pilot candidate interviews. Okay, so this is the first time I think we're actually hearing from Halamede, aside from... Halamede did write like a kind of true believer thing about why Earth is important and we gotta get back there. So... I don't have a voice for Halamede yet. I don't have a good sense for them, so I'm not going to stick to whatever I say here, but I'll probably just read the energy of the email so far. Why me? Well, because you're special. A special kind of child. All children are special. That's true. They are. I'm not more special than those children. We think you might be. Special how? You're the top of your class already at such a young age. We think that you might be able to do things that the other children can't. This line has a lot. My sister is better than me at all those things, and my Aunt Europa, when she was my age. We think you might be special in a different sort of way. Can you look at the box in front of you? Okay. Pass your hand over the box. Okay. Nothing happened. We're using an instrument to measure something that is very, very small, but moving it even so little that you cannot see it would be very important. How do I do that? You should not think about it. Just do it. I can't. I know you can. I can't. Your aunt and your sister could easily do as much, so you can do as much too. Oh, it moved. Did you get that? Yes, I saw it move. Literally saw it. Contact the director immediately. Okay, so here's a couple things. Who's Halamede's sister? Because Europa is her aunt. Which does immediately make me wonder if the 3 playable characters are in any way actually related to Europa. It's never come up or never been insinuated. But would also mean, maybe not all of them then, but if one of them is, would presumably then be Halamede's sister. We'll have to see. No, so clearly Halamede is a very important psychic child. Subject: Unified Culture Theory. Origin: pre-installed reference material. Author: Memorial Foundation Introductory Literature. Unified culture theory is a brute forcing of defined solutions for the universe through the forcible elimination of all other possibilities. The theory is attractive to those who desire a beautiful, simple, endlessly complex solution for the universe. In order to develop this theory, there needs to be a solution for the Nix aversion paradox, which demands that anything not human exists in the Everse. The most compelling current premise for a unified culture theory under contemporary physical models involves a full integration of all available concepts, directed and established in such ways as to maximize benefit for humanity. This theory of everything speaks to the desire to know, understand, and master the universe, while also incorporating a premise of universal love. Happiness for everybody, free, and nobody left behind. Happiness for everybody, free, and let no one be left behind. Unlike tyrants of old that crushed alternate futures under their heels and only caused the existential enemy to blossom, such a unified theory would welcome and forgive all humanity, and direct to benefit all things that are, and that might yet be. Okay. I'm trying to parse this to make sure I'm fully reading it correctly. I believe this is trying to justify the notion that they don't want non-human or alien things outside of Earth, like just living out in space. It's either saying all peoples should basically return to Earth, return to humanity, and kind of be given an amnesty, and everyone will be fine with whatever you had been doing. We're all just in this together, blah, blah, blah. Or maybe is trying to actually incorporate those other people and say, we'll bring you under the umbrella and we can just classify you as human again. It's all good. If we just say everyone's a unified culture, then we're fine. I don't like either to varying degrees, but in either sense, it seems to mostly be about, hey, look, just agree that you're under our jurisdiction and everything will be fine. Like, the premise is almost the existential threat can be nullified if we just get everyone to agree we're all effectively the same. Which to me just seems like a recipe for kind of dismissing the different experiences, life issues, society, etc. So I continue to like the Memorial Foundation less. It is unfortunate that I'm 12% with them, but I don't think this number is ever going to get higher. Okay, and back to talk to Europa. Enjoying your missions? More thrilling work than fighting the half-hearted troops left on Ares? Much, much more. I forgot what it was like to work this hard. I'm rusty. Are you unhappy with your progress? I don't know. Are you unhappy? I don't know. It's always been very hard to tell with you, though I'm not sure if I can answer that question better than you. I've known you since you were freshly assigned to the first pilot wave. You were so delicate, and you've only become more delicate, even as you've become stronger. I didn't think you'd describe me back then as delicate. I saw it very clearly, though the other executives thought you were a scrappy pain in the butt. You were just scared. There's no point There's no point in pretending otherwise. You just see through it. I guess I haven't changed as much as I thought. Long ago, I saw a strong and delicate girl. I've worked hard to make you more and more of that, rather than simply cultivating your strengths. Understanding your weaknesses is needed to grow. Let me ask you again, and this time focus. Count backwards from 20. Remember a moment of comfort. I'll wait. Are you happy or unhappy? I don't know. Because I feel like I'm on the cusp of something. It's frightening, yet it could be something amazing. That's a real feeling. Good girl. Are you blushing? Anyone would. I feel even more embarrassed than I did back then. That's an even better feeling to have. Hold on to that one. Channel closed. I'm interested in the dynamic between these two. I'm very curious to see if other characters will interact with Europa at all, or if everyone will have their own mentor figure. If everyone interacts with Europa, very confused about where Europa's loyalties lie, but we'll get there. This is partly why I was briefly wondering, like, wait, are you Halamede's sister and then Europa's your aunt? Because there's definitely a mentor figure here. And it's like, I don't think so, because it's been implied that Luna Terra dated Halamede, or at least some romantic entanglement. So now let's look at our two missions. So there's a rift in the earth. After her maiden voyage, Cradle's Graces is testing the finishing touches on the terrifying Makula prototype. It's a chance for Luna Terra to defeat their trump card, but will she close the rift between them instead, or only widen it deeper? And then 400mm Kiss. Memorial Foundation deploys a certain sniper to stop escape and resupply routes to the resting Celestial Mechanics fleet. All Saturn needs to do is stay out of trouble. But what's the chance of that? For the sake of following up, for the sake of not getting too much of one character in one go, I'm going to return to Makula and Pluto. Luna Terra, cancel the launch. There are new orders. Really? I thought they were very insistent about this mission. And it's a good idea, so I thought I'd do it. The new orders are Cradle's Grace's superweapon has contacted the base already. Send anyone except for Luna Terra there immediately. Ah, I see. Well, prep the Mare Chrysium for launch. Luna Terra, even I have to say something if you disobey an order right in front of my face. But you don't disagree. Or you just stop me instead of saying something. A certain degree of questioning orders from the top is allowed. Given who's in charge, obviously. Halamede is just a foolish princess. If Cradle's Graces is using that new weapon, that's all the more reason not to send randos who wouldn't stand a chance against it. You fundamentally misunderstand Memorial Foundation, Luna Terra. Yeah, me too. Halamede leads the recovery effort because no one else is fit. Only that naive, conceited, foolish girl has the love required to bring humanity back to Earth. Getting big, for some reason, just that sentence alone is giving me big Macross vibes. Like she's going to be a pop star who's trying to use culture to make it. And they literally were just talking about a united culture. I don't think it's going to make sense if I only try to frame people in terms of in terms of mech anime shows, but I'm still going to do it. Naive, one-sided, and unself-aware love. Nevertheless, that is exactly the love that is required. It's for us to interpret that fundamental impulse in a way that will ensure a strategic advantage. So I'll ask you, does love motivate your actions? That's a hell of a sentence. Like, this is a game that's obviously been a lot about relationships, and all of your choices are framed in terms of whether you will stay loyal or instead choose a relationship with another character. And I'm presuming, the thing I realized when I was wondering about how many endings there'll be, I'm assuming the endings are actually based on pairs. So if a character pairs up with another one, or however the dynamics play out, or if you don't pair up and stay solo, I'm assuming that's how the endings will shake out. But this is just so much more specifically on one about love and talking about using love for strategic advantage. Yeah, I'm just curious where this is going. Or are you just eager to find someone to shadow you into orbit? Your connection with that pilot, and I don't think I know about it or who she is. Which is it? Guilt or love? Will you let me go if I say I need her to see... Will you let me go if I say I need to see her to know? I would advise against it. Her love might be stronger than ours. That's possible. All the more reason you shouldn't get near it. Well, let me take that risk. Oh. That's interesting. So if I were to stay loyal, does that mean I straight up don't even get the mission? Because I'm definitely not doing that. But again, I'm going to betray more so on the notion that I'm not interested in the Memorial Foundation, as far as I understand it. Thankful for our cradle's graces, we're not coming back. The balance shifts, because Luna Terra hesitated, and Pluto did too. Pluto passed over the Ares canyons once, twice, 3, 4, 5 times. Luna Terra had a chance to make the first move, but Pluto couldn't keep pretending she didn't notice her lying in wait. It wasn't that Luna Terra was ready to take the shot, it's that she still hadn't decided to take it or not. Pluto has been waiting for her to grow up for a long time. She's tired of being the one waiting. There's no time for elegant duels or anticlimactic sniping. When Krun Makula clashes into the canyon, it's the worst kind of fight. I kind of want to say this now before I get deeper in, because I bet I will forget. I'll get distracted by other shit happening. I'm kind of thinking about Luna Terra as a character who's always framed as responding to other people, and like in terms of fighting style is always able to is always best at fighting by reading her opponent and then changing it up, but that also she's literally double and triple crossed people. She's changed sides. She doesn't really know, she doesn't seem to believe at all in Memorial Foundation stuff. She's openly disdainful of the princess there. She's a very reactive character. I feel like I'm going to move my hand off the mouse so that I don't do that again. She's a very reactive character. I feel like she was a good pick for the first run. Maybe the others will also have kind of questionable loyalty to their own faction, because of that's how it sort of has to be written, so that you can betray and it won't feel weird. But I have a strong suspicion that Luna Terra is like particularly just disconnected. Like, I've been in this war the longest, I'm basically the original pilot, I can just flaunt these things, and it's fine. Okay. Yeah, that was kind of it. I'm just interested in her developing character, and I'm kind of curious in the endings what it will be like when she's picked her lane. Will she seem like she's more committed? Anyway, let me go to the data log because I clicked and missed a line. Krunmakula's fingers will no longer open or close, but she swipes with the useless limb anyway. The ring finger of Pluto's ship self twists off, breaking with the force of backhanding Mare Crisium into the canyon wall, which scrambles to its feet, and then falls down immediately. Luna Terra's balanced gyros must be broken, but that's not so bad. At least she still has 2 legs, unlike the Krunmakula. Luna T, you really are the most stubborn woman I know. I'm proud of you. But, oh, I'm sorry. Did it again. I'm proud of you, but that you're only this tenacious when I'm finally being serious is a little vexing, you know? I mean, I've kept going for this long. It has to count for something, right? I don't want to wreck you. I just really need you to win or lose. Could you do that, please? Sorry, I get big Tendy Sky vibes from this character, and this face just so much more. That's a Friends and Stable reference for anyone who has no idea what I'm talking about. Both of those are hard to do. Then you've got 5 minutes to grow up. Pluto's reach is longer than expected. Little tricks of gravity. It might not be enough. The Mare Crisium was made to not be caught. More precisely, Luna Terra made the Mare Crisium something that couldn't be caught. No, don't you dare. Her fingers refuse to close, and Mare Crisium slips away. Ha. Ha, ha ha. Sorry, I'm such a cockroach. Don't be. Slipping away is so like you. I don't know what else I expect. Lunati, I really can't let you get away. Not without an answer. I'm not going to do that. What are you trying to do then? We promised we'd fight until one of us won. And then we'd go along with whatever the other decided. So why are you trying to take that away from me? Luna Terra holds Krunmakula's severed left tidal reactor. Pluto can go without it, but not for long. It's what makes the Krunmakula so impossible. And without it, she can't be impossible for very long. That core is everything I have. But the rest of me isn't going to last long without it, so it might as well be everything. If I don't have that, I can't follow you, win or lose. I really don't think it's good for you. The Krunmakula makes a leap and crashes into the ground, just short of the Mare Crisium. It's just close enough. Luna Terra nearly forgets to take the opportunity to get a shot in Krunmakula's chest before she can recover to block it. You're going to lecture me about doing what's healthy? You've got a lot of nerve. It's not cute. If we had to fight each other like this, I really wish it didn't have to be with you and that thing. You don't like it, huh? You've always been like this. You're trying to tell me what's good for me? You don't want to admit this is really me? Luna T, I would listen to you if I had ever listened to me once ever. I told you, I haven't got any better in the time we've been apart. I don't want you to not be strong, or beautiful, or amazing. I just don't want you to be holding this weight of Cradle's graces, everyone's hopes and dreams, all by yourself. So please just rest for now. Don't tell me that. I hate this, hate this, hate this. You never listen, and you know I'll always let you win in the end. But not this time. I don't know what you mean. I've been really patient. So if you keep playing dumb, you're gonna make me mad. I said I don't know what you mean. I don't want anything else. I'm a cockroach. I don't need anything myself. Liar. Are you trying to make me mad? Be satisfied with it. I don't have any other answer. So I keep not wanting to break the flow of the conversation, but also the shots of mech damage are sick as shit. If I had one, I'd give it, so drop it. I'm not satisfied. No. You grow up, and you be the adult for once. Get back here. Kunmakula's feet are still broken, but Pluto moves her with gravity alone. Mayor Chrysium's engine's flare navi is broken. Everything is broken, but it will move. No, not this time. Kunmakula's twin tidal reactors are falling apart, with one of them nearly torn out, yet she still moves. The pressure of the unrestricted gravity peels the paint off Mayor Chrysium. Her steels and plastics are chattering. Her remaining useless arm snaps, and her engine wings creak. That pressure... sorry. My finger's just hovering too close on the mouse. Whoop. That pressure is not enough to bring her down, but it's enough for her to falter, and Kunmakula grabs her foot and slams her to the ground. Mayor Chrysium creaks and strains, trying to flee, so Pluto pulls the rest off herself on top of her. So Pluto pulls the rest of herself on top of her. Pluto, I'm serious. You're not the only one. I have things I'm willing to be hard and cruel for now. I have things I'm willing to be hard and cruel for now, too. Mayor Chrysium fires a sidearm. It doesn't dent Pluto. Pluto opens her hand. The fingers don't work, but the plasma still does, which flays Luna Terra's chassis, but gently. I'm really serious this time. I can't stop for a second, so I really need it back. It's already been too long, so please give me back that part of me. Mayor Chrysium opens her left hand. Pluto's missing reactor is still beating wildly. Sorry to be like this, but this ship self and what it can do are more important than me, than anything else about me. Nothing is more important than you. A gentle click. Luna Terra's sidearm pointed at the stolen reactor. Fires. The solid light slug misses, just barely. There's a second shot, but it's buried in Pluto's blocking hand. And there's a third shot, but Pluto's ripped off the arm of the Mayor Chrysium, so it's just the last reflex of a limb separated from its owner. But that's all that the broken arm of Kunmakula can take. Its fingers make a last twitch before her arm finally snaps under its own weight, and the Kunmakula falls to what's left of its knees. How long are you going to make me put up with this? What do you mean? You don't want to fight with me? Not a fight for real. Oh, you don't want to fight with me. Not a fight for real. Your heart isn't in it. So let's not. No. That's That's the only thing I want. Why are you like this? Acting like you know what I want better than I do. So what if you're right? Of course I don't want to fight you. Damn it, I hate you. After all that, I'm the one who's crying at the end again. The last time it was like this, I was the one crying too. Now I'm powerful like you, have something I'm fighting for like you, that's not you, or anyone but me. So let me fight for that. Stop protecting me. Stop making me fight you. It's so easy to fight for you. If I'm not careful, it's all I'll ever want to do. I'm sorry. Don't want a sorry. You must think it's easy not to care about you, but it's not. It's easy for you not to care about you, but it's the hardest thing for me. I'm still the one who ended up crying. Again, you wouldn't list back then either. Mayor Chrysium rises, gently brushes away the burned portions of Crown Makula's armor. The joints are already starting to heal, as gravity pulls them back. Almost just as good as new, but a little changed. I know you. Don't distract yourself, dummy. Reattaching arms is hard, so do mine right at least. It was the same last time, too. I said, you deserve better. I said, but you are better. I just ignored it because I'm stupid. Not because I'm cool. Thank God. Everything is worth it. If you finally don't think you're cool anymore. Day 4. Okay, so yet again that's a 25%. Curious, a funny thought this makes me curious about. Do you just not get much percentage points for being loyal and you actually get way more for betraying, which would be funny, and definitely feels accurate to how Luna Terra seems to feel about her faction. There's so much more to come with their dynamic, but I'm very curious about the relationship specifics, because I feel like the relationship with Pluto is currently my best avenue to getting a better understanding of the ship self metaphor, because explicitly Pluto and Luna Terra were together, theoretically, maybe not romantically, but you know, there's implications. But that was before Pluto had a ship self, while Luna Terra did. Luna Terra basically said, I'm out, goodbye, pretty much seeming to be like one of those self-sacrifice, like, no, you'd be better without me, I'm gonna go, I'm not gonna care that it's the thing you want, I'm going to go with what I think you should have. And then Pluto was like, that's fucked up. And Luna Terra's excuse, or maybe legitimate concern, probably somewhere more in between, was about Pluto not having a ship self. This is the part that's a little bit fuzzy, but Pluto seems to implicate the fact that she now has a ship self should change the dynamic, should make them more on even footing. And the ship selves being like bodies and being kind of expressive bodies. My current understanding is that they're not necessarily idealized forms, but kind of your expressed self, or the self you're projecting to people. And not in the sense that it's fake, but in the sense that it's like this feels right. This is the representation of myself that seems accurate and I'm happy with and comfortable with. Because note that whenever they talk about the ships, they're pretty much saying that like this ship self uniquely tied to this particular person. No one else could pilot it. No one else could even operate in the manner required by this particular ship self. I need to keep saying ship self. So like it is very much about the individuals and their mode of operating, which to me feels like this is how they express themselves kind of thing. So given that, it's presumably that Pluto kind of didn't know what she wanted before, didn't know who she was, hadn't really figured herself out, and was maybe just, in a funny way, because I was talking before, Luna Terra is very reactive, that maybe before Pluto was very like reflective, just didn't actually put herself out there, didn't act in her own interest, didn't act what she wanted, was kind of a blank slate who would just fit molds rather than actually going, this is who I am, this is who I want to be then. I'm probably going to do Pluto next because I do want to figure this out a little bit more, and I've enjoyed Saturn scenes too, but I do feel like the connection between Pluto and Luna Terra seems more direct, so it's probably the next place to go after this. Yeah, we'll see how that develops. All of this very subject to change. I'm sure I'll find out in about 5 minutes that the ship selves had nothing to do with identity. It's totally wrong, and it's actually a metaphor for climate change or something. So, mail and alerts. Subject, RE. Okay. That doesn't matter that much. I'm just like, is that just the way you use RE in place of subject sometimes? Origin. Declassified records leak. Author. Operations Commander, Europa. My kids are idiots. And also, they're not my kids. And also, they're not kids anymore. Please stop calling them your kids when they are my students. They're not my children. I am not being pedantic. I am not doing it to avoid being attached. I am already more attached than is best. Don't encourage it. They're grown-ups. And also, fools. Mars is the most genius pilot, but she's just as much a fool as everyone else. She does nothing but cry and complain and win effortlessly, like a real hero. If she was a boy, they would call her that, and you wouldn't be asking me who the best pilot is. You'd just know. Only in space would that girl be allowed to be a hero. She deserves her moment in the sun. She might win the war for us single-handedly. Anything else that isn't her story will just be a blip of fate off in the sky. Rest easy. She's going to win the day. When the others interfere, they're not going to steer the course of the future any more than a little bit to the left or right of the course that Mars is sailing. I'm not going to interfere. Valuing their independence is important. They'll be adults soon, and then they won't be anyone's kids. Insist on the comparison, and it will become clear how far we are from fulfilling that role for them. For my part, I don't wish to forget that there are limits to what we can do, and who we can be. Though, yes, as a matter of fact, I am tired of them calling me Dad. There's a couple of things in here I'm very curious about. So, I mean, not the introduction of Mars, but Mars the pilot, I don't think has really come up. And it's funny that they renamed the planet Mars to Ares, but have a pilot named Mars to fit with the naming scheme of these characters. This seems like it might be referring to a different crop generation of pilots, or like a different class is probably the best way to put this. Not like 20 years in the past, but maybe the earlier. But then Luna Terra being the oldest pilot would have to have been in this class, so I guess that's not true. So then just Mars hasn't come up yet in terms of their dynamics. So it's possible Mars changed name? That's probably not the case. Maybe Mars is no longer a pilot, or maybe Mars is like a very important pilot, but we're building up to dealing with her. The other part I find particularly interesting here is that the explicit calling out of sexism here is interesting because up until this point we've just had women pilots, and not that I've noticed, there's been no implication that there is any kind of sexist judging of them. This is maybe just an illustration of what Earth itself is like, and this is not reflective of the space factions, even Memorial Foundation. Or this could be what Memorial Foundation specifically is like, and not the other two factions. I'll keep an ear out for more implications either way. And yeah, suddenly big flags that Mars is going to be like very important for how this ends. I guess. Oh, me. I guess we'll look forward to hearing more from Mars. Next up is an email written by Mars. Thankfully, it is specified that it's the pilot and not the planet. Subject: Secular Astrology Explained, Part 1. Origin: Achieved message retrieval. Author: Pilot Mars. So, I mean, yet again, I'm going to do a voice here. Again, I'll probably change it when I see the actual character because I don't have enough context here. But I'll take a swing at something. I don't know why you suddenly asked about this, and I'm not the person who knows anything about it. But sure, I guess. I learned all of this from Pluto, so you could have just asked her. Too nervous, huh? I see right through you. Well, because I feel sorry for you, I'll tell you all about it. This is clearly about to lay out a lot of things I was speculating. Venus, Luna Terra, and Mars are the interpersonal distances. If Venus is the breath of the body and Mars is the blood, Luna Terra is flesh and represents skin-to-skin distance. That's why it represents family. The Earth and the Moon are different, but they're parts of the same thing, a two-in-one. Certainly, the Moon also represents something different, but it's also a part of us. When you think of it as a dark side, you forget that it's composed of your own same flesh. It's not your mirror, it's your back. Mars is the beneath the skin distance, and that's blood. But it's also, well, the ways that humans communicate, not skin to skin, but beneath skin to beneath skin. Get it? Don't make me spell it out. That's the reason for fucking and fighting to really feel similar sometimes. Pluto said the other day, it's like you two only know that one language, and that's the only talking you ever do in it. The solar system maps out a human body, and by colonizing the planets, a greater human body will exist, with the sun as the inseparable totality of it all. That's the philosophical justification, but it's kind of romantic though, right? Maybe it's kind of fake though. Yeah, there's a lot here all of a sudden. Because, I mean, there's some that's just some very explicit thematic connections to just say, yeah, this is this, this is this, this, that. I'm kind of curious if a Venus will appear. We'll see. I guess simultaneously, this feels like it's very important, really big stuff, good to keep in mind. And also, I don't got anything to do with it. I don't have a lot to say about this yet. I'll have to progress further and just remember to come back to this. Especially if I get to talk to Mars and get to get a better sense of Mars' interpersonal relationships to other characters. But it is curious to me that So we don't know who this is to, but we know it's from Mars, and they are referencing Pluto, and that person could have also talked to Pluto. So Mars seems to again be from the same class of pilots, the same group that trained together, or at least that's what I would assume. So I have to ask, how do you really feel about me coming back to Memorial Foundation? You were a loyal and efficient ace pilot for Memorial Foundation for the entire Cold War, against our alien and ultimately irrelevant existential threat from beyond the system. I've been thinking about this existential threat. And it's funny that I was trying to kind of grasp before how it's simultaneously very important, like really big deal, but also not that hard to fight, very simple. And I have since started wondering, is the existential threat actually just fake? Is it entirely just a fabrication that is meant to justify the Memorial Foundation's actions? Because if it's an invented kind of propagandist style thing, then saying, guys, we all got to get together, this thing's so difficult, it's such a big problem, but as soon as we're together, we're gonna fucking kill it. It's just, it has no chance, we're gonna utterly destroy it, it's all good. To me, that does just read as, look, stop your infighting. It's like the kind of centrist / American style liberal discourse of like, I don't know why people on the left are just always trying to fight us on everything. We're just trying to get things done. We've got to deal with like bigger problems. They're always portraying like that there is some nebulous, really big deal that needs to be dealt with. That as soon as everyone just falls in line, it's very simple. Take 2 seconds. Done. But if at all you're in any way fighting us, like splitting up, trying to break up our unity, then it's going to just annihilate us instead. So that's how I'm reading it currently. And alien and ultimately irrelevant existential threat from beyond the system definitely reads as this thing is just sort of like, yeah, there's something, it's out there, and it's not really something to worry about, but only when we need you to fall in line for us. Thanks. Then you were perfectly loyal to the pilots left adrift by the decommissioning of the pilot program and colonization project. Now you're perfectly loyal to Memorial Foundation again. You haven't betrayed our side at all. My alignment chart begs to differ, but go off. Well, at least we're mentally synced, me and Luna Terra. That's a generous reading. You've betrayed plenty of love-struck pilots, but your political loyalty is impeccable. So even if Halimede doesn't trust or forgive you, I welcome your return. That's not going to be a problem? That she doesn't? Oh, she welcomes your return the most, but keep on your toes. That one I don't have any questions about. Keep your friends close, and your exes closer. Except, if you're still not suspicious of me for betraying Memorial Foundation, how about her? Oh, that I'll be mad about. That I'll be mad at both of you about for a very long time. Please don't worry much about it, however, as you've both made each other suffer more than enough to make up for your youthful indiscretions. Honestly, the two of you hooking up to somehow get at me was the most hilarious part, as you ended up punishing each other more than I ever could have. Can we talk politics again? I think I get the picture already. That's not to say the two of you don't still have a lot of lessons left to learn from the experience. Once I'm sure you've learned them, your punishment will be over. I'm suddenly very interested in hearing about factions again. Oh, on that note, I'm not as worried. just remain true to what you really believe in, Luna Terra. Channel closed. Well, the complications right now, the thing I believe in is just not the Memorial Foundation. I think that's a good point to end this episode. Next time we'll be back to meeting Saturn for a 400mm kiss. I feel like we have maybe we could have quite a while left. I'm wondering if we're supposed to hit, supposed in quotation marks, to hit 100%, because that would make this game longer than I actually thought. Anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you're enjoying, and especially if you're enjoying this game, please do support the creators. You can buy the game, or you can buy this or other of their games. I'll have links all in the description of the video. Anyway, thanks again for watching, and see you next time.